Stand by for action. Anything can happen in the next half hour.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Very, very good evening to you. Welcome along. It's Friday night. It's 7 p.m. That means it's live from the edit room with the Bear. And boy, oh boy, have we got a show lined up for you tonight.
Very similar looking. Ignited. Well, the slower the aircraft is, the more the wind affects.
To start things off tonight, we're having a look at Yeovilton from just a couple of years ago. Then we've got a little bit from East Mids Airport, Odeon. Then a bit of B2 action. You can't beat a bit of B2 action. The Vulcan. And of course, tonight we'll be inviting live on air tonight the one and only. That's Captain Chris Brady. Really honoured and looking forward to that.
Turning away from us with a bit of negative.
Then a little bit later, we've got the it's called Ask the Pilot with our very own Chris Brady.
A surface to air missiles trying to engage the Merlins.
I like that. And in between all of that, the great chat in the chat room. And lots of other videos as well, and a few surprises as well. So hey, stay with the Bear.
Multi-purpose machine from the Bronco demo team based at Kortrijk-Wevelgem in Belgium. Tony De Bruyne with the North American Oli 10B.
Well, I've got to say, totally overwhelmed by the fantastic folks in the chat room this evening. So thank you, everybody. Look at this. I've never seen it so busy, so I give you a big thumbs up. Thank you very much. We'll give you all a mention in just a moment.
2, which was flown for us today by the boss of the historical squad 11 and AS-12 wire-guided missiles in order to be able to attack surface targets. And she'll do a 360 just to really show off that beautiful shape. And also here those two
What an aircraft, that beautiful Sea Vixen. Isn't it gorgeous? So in the chat room, very quickly, we've got Laura R, Keezy, Phoebe Stern, Jazzy, John 30, Laura R, yeah, we just mentioned her twice. She's so good, we've got to mention her twice. Andrew Austin, Mark Webber Webster, Phoebe Stern, great to see you, Phoebe. Enjoy the show. Chris, good day to you. Let's keep going through the list. Andrew Austin. I'm going to go quiet so you can hear the aircraft. Here we go.
Of course, you'll see Vampire that Winkle Brown did his first ever jet deck landing on an aircraft carrier. It's quite a wonderful one.
We also have Mid-Atlantic RR and Aeroplanes. Julie, of course, is in the chat room with her spanner. Good to see you, Julie. Jane Chapman, as always, wonderful to see you in the chat room. Thank you for joining us, Jane.
That aeroplane also flew offensive sweeps over Jack. The Rose! Pulling up at 4G. This is Swan.
Oh, it's good to see the red arrows. This is just a short little clip. What it is, it's some highlights from 2016 from Yeovilton Air Show.
Moving
I'm currently working on the full version of this, so very, very soon, on one of our afternoon shows, we'll see the full version of this particular air show.
150 miles an hour at the apex of the loop. Working hard to stay in formation at low speed.
Also, good evening to Architect Design.
Feathered arrow, or as we call it, thread.
Who else have we got? So many folks, it's unbelievable. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Special mention going out tonight to our very good friend, that's LT Viper Pilot. And we've got a special message coming from LT Viper Pilot towards the end of the show, so make sure you don't miss that. PJ, hi to you as well. Aviation Kid, keep on going through the list.
Pitching up, Maiden 9 with the colour smoke. Pitching up now to roll around the synchro pair. They then perform their own twinkle rolls as they get ready to split in the Jippo break. In opposing 360-degree 6G turns in their final manoeuvre, which is the carousel.
I love this manoeuvre.
Remember, the pilots are pulling 6G, they're working very hard to fight the G-force. They're crossing 3 times. Now notice when they cross at the back, they swap their smoke colour from red to blue and vice versa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause for the synchro pair. And you've been watching the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrow!
And talking of the Red Arrows, I was sent this. Well, actually, it was posted on the Facebook group called the Airshow World fan page. And you remember, if you were with us, if you weren't, you must watch it back on, what day was it? Tuesday. We did that Duxford special and with all the video and what have you, and the red arrows at the end. And while we were playing that, Chloe was actually drawing this fantastic picture for me. So Chloe, many, many thanks for that. Isn't that brilliant? What a superstar. That's Chloe. Chloe, thank you very, very much. Okay, right, let's get back to the action and carry on with the show. Like a red now. There we go.
2006. He went on to win the British Helicopter Championships in 2009 and 2010. So we're very lucky to have him. So here they come, the crowd centre into the hopper. You can see the gazelles are very, very sleek.
Very quickly, back to the chat room. Heather Ramsby. Also, yeah, Aviation Kid, I think we mentioned you earlier, so thank you for joining us. Phil Artiste. Always good to see Phil. He was on Meet the Fans a few weeks ago. Bandit 99, Maurice Moon is there somewhere. John Robinson, SHGP, Virtual Aviation. That's Chloe's dad. So well done, Chloe.
Give them a win.
That picture meant a lot. It really did. I thought you did brilliant.
Hello to them. Service, and you know, it's a real tribute to what those people did and the bravery of the guys that operated it in the hazardous environments that they had to fly it in. Beautifully flown by Lieutenant
Hey, Alison Tidy, also good to see you in the chat room. And another Alison, but with only with 2 L's this time. That's Alison Bowers. Good evening to you.
And missile launch.
Keezy.
Each rocket pod can house.
And who else have we got? Well, the explosions and the music's in the background, so I'll turn that down for a second. Yeah, Jane Chapman is with us. She loves anything to do with the Oval team.
Please find a member of the...
And I've really enjoyed that photograph you put on that Asia World fan page. That's on Facebook. If you've not joined it yet, hey, certainly do it. GB Model Zone, good evening to you. Very special mention going out today to another very special Airshow World fan. This guy is wonderful. That's Elvis. Elvis, we're going to put a big smile on your face this evening, okay? So keep on smiling, Elvis. It's always great to see you. Also, good evening to James. Stand on my head and do somersaults. Look at this. Barry West, you are too kind. Thank you very much. It's so much appreciated. It helps Asia World by putting that very kind donation in. Barry, you are a superstar. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, you take care there, Barry. Keep your eyes on the road. And take it steady on that truck of yours. Hope it's not too cold. They're having some terrible weather around Texas and what have you at the moment, aren't they? Phoebe Stern, what are you like? Superstars, Phoebe, thank you for the donation. And also, Keezy, thank you very, very much. Celebrating the fact 55,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? It's all down to you guys. Thank you. Don't forget what Friday's all about is having a bit of fun and showing you what is coming up. But I shall be doing a full version of this particular air show, and it'll be coming out in the next, maybe next week.
B-24 Liberators on those enormously hazardous daylight raids over occupied Europe. The 8th Air Force, largely based in East Anglia, and around 2,000 of the B-17s and B-24s that flew from those parts between 1942 and 1945 were lost. It's no wonder this aircraft's operator, Ellie Sallingbow, describes
You're absolutely right there, John.
A living piece of our national heritage that must be preserved.
Doesn't seem 5 minutes since yeah, we were hitting the 50,000. Do you remember? We hit that at Mildenhall. Dylan Hutchinson, thank you very, very much. Wow. That donation is so kind of you and everybody else's. Thank you very, very much. See, even the crowd are applauding you, so thank you. This is one place I just love air shows here. The backdrop is, as you can see, look at that. That is awesome. If you want to see something special and you weren't with us on Tuesday afternoon, check out the live stream that we actually did for you, live from the edit room.
Captains today.
It was Duxford 2016.
Captain Peter Cowper.
Certainly worth playing back just for the sound of the aircraft. If nothing else, it was quite special.
I'll sign off and let you enjoy the final manoeuvre. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Jackie, we love you to bits. Thank you very much, Jackie. What a very kind donation. It says, hey, love from Jackie Keesey. Thank you very much for that.
Go after any unidentified aircraft. High speed pass now, 580 knots, 100 feet. Those aircraft may be, for instance, Russian bombers probing the edges of UK airspace, or it could be an airliner with which communication has been lost or otherwise couldn't be established. What was that? Don't panic too much, ladies and gentlemen. It's all part of the show.
Well, we'll have to check that out there, Ethan. Doing a premiere at 8 p.m. Ethan, always great to see you in the chat room, and thank you for joining us this evening. Don't forget, Ethan's got this great YouTube channel.
Action. Ready to move troops around as required.
Well, Dylan, I hope you're starting to feel a bit better now, mate. And thank you for joining us. Means a lot.
Aims for extraction. Commando 1 will lead in and land on. Or will he? Full aircraft. The winch will be used to conduct helicopter in-flight refueling, which gives us the capability to take...
Well, coming up next, what do we have for you? What do we have? Okay, yes, let's have a quick look at East Midlands Airport and a couple of head-on shots for you. As it gets dark, let's have a look at this. It's gone very, very quiet. And this is the sort of thing we have to look forward to in the springtime when it stays lighter longer. I will definitely make sure at least once a week when I'm around this part of the world, I will be at East Mids Airport and we'll get some of these great shots as the cargo planes come into land. So this is something I'm really looking forward to in being able to do for you when it's light for long enough, and of course, obviously, when we're allowed to pop up to the airport. Coming up just a little bit later this evening, as I'm sure you all know, because, you've probably seen, I've been advertising this all over the place, and so is Julie, that tonight we are absolutely over the moon to be having on live on the air tonight our very own Chris Brady, Captain Chris Brady. And so we'll be finding out all about him. And also, we've got a few questions for him as well. Yes, we'll be putting a few questions to him just a little bit later on. That's around about 7:45, that sort of time. So, hey, lots to come tonight. I keep wondering how we're going to fit it all in. Well, no doubt you probably heard early in the week, was it Monday, the 757 DHL took off from Leipzig and got up to around about 5,000 feet, and the cargo door flew open. But you certainly wouldn't want that happening at any higher altitude. Managed to make it back safely, turned around, went straight back to Leipzig, and obviously that's where it stuck on the ground. So please definitely keep the messages coming in, just like Robert Batista. Always good to see Robert. If I do miss anybody out, give me a quick slap wrist, okay? And I'll make sure I give you a mention. Just like I nearly forgot to mention Kevin. That's Kevin, Henry VIII. Good to see you. Like all the icons. That looks pretty cool. Aviation Kid says, hey, Asia World, have you ever considered becoming a pilot or a GA? Oh, I tell you what. I love looking at the aeroplanes, but, gosh, I don't think anybody would trust me flying an aeroplane, I tell you. But we know a man who can, and he'll be on just, as I said, a little later. Really looking forward to that. LT Viper pilot, let us know. Has the snow started disappearing where you are, or are you still snowed in? She took some great videos last week, and we'll be seeing LT Viper pilot actually on the show towards the end. Oh dear, the second time that's happened, is it? Oh, blimey heck. There's something certainly wrong there then, Morris. Thanks for letting us know that. But don't worry. LT Viper pilot is not in the UK. Hey, it's really warm over here in the UK for the time of year, but no, she's over not too far from Seattle, that sort of way, Washington State, you know, Seattle, heading towards the west. Go west. And throughout the summer months, we're hoping very much that, hey, LT Viper pilot is going to be our correspondent, if you like, over in the USA. She's going to be sending us, fingers crossed, she's going to be sending us some reports from air shows. That's if there's any on. In her own style. And you'll see her later. She's brilliant. Aha, what are we looking at? An A350. What? I wish all the aircraft would do that. It'd be great for me, wouldn't it? Together with the red arrows as they line up to go and do a fly past at Farnborough. And where was I filming this from? Well, I wasn't at Farnborough. I was just a few miles out and spending a relaxing time after the Fairford Air Show. I tend to go over to a place called Odeon. Very relaxing. And you get great fly pasts as well. And lots of Chinooks. As you will find out, hopefully, in the months, and many months, hopefully, to come, with LT Viper Pilot, I'm telling you, she doesn't need to go far because she's a superstar in her own right, and you shall find out later. Okay, what have we got coming up for you next? Someone say B2s.
Tower, runway 27, wind 330 at 5, cleared to land. 239, runway 27.
Plus the wildlife as well. Sending your cats crazy. Good evening to you, that's Peter Tor. Also to Terry.
At 4, cleared to land. Clear to land, top 1.
Hey Phoebe, turn the speakers up so the cat can hear.
Sure, if you'd like to loop around to Echo, hold short of runway 27 on Echo.
Hannah Sophie, good evening to you as well. Don't forget, put a message in the chat room. I've got to be on my best behaviour today because my good friend Colin might be watching. Hey Colin, if you're watching, a very good Friday evening to you, my friend. B2s, don't you love them? Phil Artiste, you are a superstar in your own right. Thank you very, very much. Puts a very kind donation in. Thank you, Phil. So much appreciated. Cheers, my man. Many thanks to our very own Jamesy. Thank you very much, Jamesy. James filmed this just a couple of years ago, and he sent it across. Said, hey, can you feature this? Can I feature it? You bet your bottom dollar I will. And just popped into the chat room. I know it's good to see him. That's Lewis. Lewis the Travel Spotter. Nice to see you, my man. Michael DeGroff. Good evening to you as well. And coming up for you in around about 10 minutes from now, we'll be, for the first time live on a Friday night, we'll be introducing our very good friend, that's Chris, Captain Chris Brady. And we'll be telling you about some very exciting things that we're going to be doing in the very near future. So, hey, Airshow World. Keep spreading the word. It's the only place to be, okay? We've got some great plans lined up. Fingers crossed. All I can say is thank you, Lewis, for joining us tonight. Thank you very much.
Departure frequency 297.8 and monitor guard. Someone wants to take out runway 272.9. You guys have a good flight. Good flight, sir. Yep.
And if you'd like to see this video in full without the chitter-chatter from the bear here, you can see this over the weekend. I shall be putting this out as a premiere, probably tomorrow afternoon. After the horse racing, what, about 4:30? Would that be okay? So come on, tell me, what is better? What's better than a B2? Answer to the question is 2 B2s, and that's what you've got right here. There we go, together with the birds as well. Wonderful stuff. What have we got coming up next? Another iconic aeroplane. It's the Vulcan. sound.
Running and brake, and I expect to see Kev bringing her back in towards us from the far side of the airfield. I was saying those Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus engines, 16,500 pounds a day, cost us about 65,000 pounds altogether. And we were also mentioning the fact that it took this, that aeroplane on the far side of the airfield took 21,000 pounds of on-load all that distance down to the Falkland Islands. And bear in mind that this was an aeroplane that would first appear on a scruffy piece of paper which still exists in 1946, designed by the same team that had designed the Lancaster. We saw the Lancaster earlier. Later this year, there are going to be 2 Lancasters in this country. We very much hope that we're going to have a formation of the Vulcan and 2 Lancasters, and how amazing that will be. Here she comes again. You can see plenty of unburned fuel coming out of the back of those engines, and it just stopped as I said it.
Coming up for you in just a couple of minutes, we'll be introducing you to Captain Chris Brady very, very soon.
Saying if you were lucky enough to go on one of the underwing tours this morning, you might have seen your name in the Bombay, because the Bombay is completely taken up with names of people who sponsored somebody that had their name in there. Unfortunately, there is no more space left now. There will be more tours tomorrow if you're coming back, but I'm sad to say you won't be able to go on an underwing tour when she lands, because she has to be taken over to the other side. The Commodore is close to Here she is with the wheels down, all 18 wheels. If you didn't already know, you might have told that it was now that's 16 they're down 16 wheels down.
That is just, it takes your breath away, doesn't it? When that used to fly at the air shows, the crowd was silent, and then when it landed, the well-deserved round of applause. Well, everybody out there, I'd like you all to give a big round of applause now and a very big Airshow World welcome. And fingers crossed, and internet providing, we should have very, very proud to bring on tonight Captain Chris Brady. So, Chris, are you out there this evening?
Hi, Stu. I'm here. How are you?
Hey, we're very, very well indeed. Hey, would you be very kind to sort of give us a very quick background about how you got to be into the piloting and everything else, very quickly?
Yeah, sure. I started way back in 1985. While I was at university, there's an organisation called the University Air Squadron, which is an RAF outfit. So I learned to fly in Merseyside, a place called Woodvale on Bulldogs, and from there I went through the various other flying stages. Ended up instructing at Liverpool. Did that for several years. Then moved over to Heathrow. Flew for British Midland for about 7 or 8 years, and I've been with EasyJet since 2001.
Well, thank you very much. Chris, could you tell me about this? I know it says at the top whereabouts you're actually flying, but a little bit about the altitude and, whereabouts it is. Obviously, it's over the Alps.
We're looking at the Air Transat A310, right?
Yes.
That was on departure from Paris Charles de Gaulle. The outbound flight, 10,000. Yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
Okay, now we're over the Alps.
Flying over the Alps. Yes.
This one's over the Alps. Okay, so this was a flight from Rome to Luton. Only did this about 2 years ago, I think. We're 38,000 feet, probably about 0.78. And it was a lovely clear day, so I just got my iPhone out and did a time-lapse video of flying over the Alps here. Mostly clear, a little bit of lenticular clouds there, just at high level. And you probably see the video start to rock a little bit. That's just the turbulence associated with that lenticular cloud.
Absolutely wonderful. Look at these shots. We've got another fantastic shot coming up in a minute. Chris, can you see the screen actually coming through on your Skype? Is that...
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're more than halfway across the Alps here. So we're now on the Swiss side. And you can just see in the distance a sort of diagonal streak, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. That's Lake Geneva coming into view.
Yeah.
And nice clear day over here. And then we're heading over towards Aigle in the Rhone Valley. And you can see a big white line of cloud there. That's low stratus cloud, pretty much over the entire body of France.
Right. Okay. Before we get to the Ask the Pilot questions, which is coming up in just a couple of minutes, could you explain something about this? Something that pilots only get to see. You're looking west. Go west. There we go. Can you see that okay there, Chris?
I've got it. It's just come through. Okay, so this is a fairly unique phenomenon. This is a rising sunset. So we're looking to the west. Now, this is the direction that the sun set. And when I took off, the sun had set. It was dark when I took off. Only just dark. But as I climbed, you get higher and higher above the Earth. So your distance over the visible horizon becomes much further. And if you time it just right, if you're lucky enough, the sun actually rises above that western horizon. And that's what we're seeing here. Just about managed to catch it on video. So we're looking west and the sun is coming up. So that day I actually saw 2 sunrises and 2 sunsets. Quite unique.
That shot is absolutely awesome. And hey, everybody watching this on Airshow World, over the next months and what have you, the fingers are going to be crossed because we hope to be joining Chris quite a few times, and he'll be on the show quite a bit. So we're hoping to be able to bring you more videos and lots more good stuff. But coming up right now, we're going to do that feature that we promised we were going to do. So first question to Ask the Pilot. Jazzy John 30 says, given the chance to fly, which one would you choose, Concorde or the Vulcan, and why?
Hey Jazzy, definitely Concorde. Absolutely. I mean, the Vulcan's a lovely looking aircraft, as you just saw before. It's a real sinister looking beast, but the Concorde is beautiful. And of course Concorde can cruise just over Mach 2. 60,000 feet. From up there, you can see the curvature of the Earth. Never had the opportunity to fly on it, unfortunately, but I was shown around it by a BA crew, and we actually walked out onto the wings of it. Static on the ground, I hasten to add. But I would have loved to have flown Concorde.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you, Jazzy. Donald wants to know, how often do pilots have to take a refresher course on the company's flight simulator to keep their aircraft rating proficient? Further, is it actually possible to fail such a course? And if so, what fate would befall the pilot?
Okay, so a few questions in there. We go into the sim every 6 months. We're there for 2 4-hour sim sessions, which probably pack out to about 8 hours with briefing and debriefing. So that's a total of 4 days in the sim a year, every year. And yeah, they are jeopardy. It is quite possible to fail one. Fortunately, touch wood, I haven't failed one yet. But yeah, they don't muck about. If you're not up to scratch, then you're not safe to be flying the general public around. As for what would happen to you, it very much depends, what goes on in the sim. But most companies will know that you've proved yourself capable of being a pilot in the past, and everybody can have a bad day. And most progressive companies will simply give you more training, find out what's the root cause of your problems, and get you back up to the standard you once were, and out you'll go again. So nobody likes to fail, but it can happen, and a good company will look after you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move along. What's the next question? Greg asks, what is the longest flight that you have done in the 737?
Longest flight in the 737's probably, I recall one that was about 6 hours. It was usually less, but there were very strong headwinds. It was... wasn't Tel Aviv, it was Larnaca. That was it. Larnaca back to Manchester. And a 737-400, so it was the old classic generation. They cruise at decimal 74, so they're a little bit slower than the later ones, which cruise about 77 or 78. And as I recall, we had a headwind of around about 100 knots all the way back. So we fueled this thing right up as full as it would go, had a full load of passengers on as well, and we got back in around about 6 hours. So yeah, that was probably the longest.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Greg. Andrew Austin wants to know, what is the trickiest airport that you've ever landed at?
Oh, crikey. Lots of airports can be tricky. I mean, you kind of got to think, what is it that's making them tricky? I mean, are they just short, or are they prone to places like Jersey or Dortmund or Inverness are very short for the type of aircraft I now fly, and they're captain's only landings at those airports. But they're not difficult per se. You've just got to judge it right. Other airports might be places like Funchal or Gibraltar, which have got very tricky wind conditions because of the terrain around. Speaking of terrain, you've got places like Innsbruck, which are famously tricky to fly down the valley to. Other ones can be places like, other unusual ones, I guess, would be, I've landed in Rovaniemi, which is right up in the Arctic Circle, to go and do a little Lapland charter to see Santa. And I've also landed on a beach.
Beach.
Intentionally, I should say, but yeah, there are a couple of beaches around the UK that are actually marked out as airfields, so you can land on them.
All right, very interesting. We'll have to go into that more on another occasion. I'd certainly be interested to hear about beach landings and what have you. We'll have to go into that in more detail when we've got more time. Okay, very quickly on this, because time is moving along. John Robinson says, how much time does it take to transit from the Boeing 737 model to another? And would you fly the MAX with confidence?
Okay, taking the last question first. Yes, now I would fly the MAX with confidence. And I think I noticed today that it was the first flight of a UK MAX, a TUI one from Manchester, as I saw. But yeah, the MAX has been very deeply scrutinised for the last 2 years while it's been grounded, and it's now probably the most safest airliner in the skies because of that scrutiny. I mean, it's a terrible shame that it took a couple of accidents to get to that stage, but it's there now. So yeah, no problem with that. And how long does it take to transit from one to another? If you're transferring between one generation of 737 and another, it's very minimal. It's just a couple of days of training. But if you're changing types from, say, a 737 to an Airbus or another Boeing, then the conversion course for that's around about a month long, plus another month of line training.
Okay.
So there's about 2 weeks of ground school, 2 weeks in the simulator, and then you fly with a training captain beside you, with the passengers on board for about 2 weeks or so. So the whole process, around about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, thank you for that. Thanks. Great question there from John Robinson. And I've just got time for just 2 more questions, unfortunately, because we are running out of time really quickly. So the next question is from Kevin Henry VIII. And his question is, have you ever found any live creatures in the cockpit? I like that.
Live creatures. Well, obviously lots of insects and things, but I haven't found, but I did take over an aircraft that in my days at British Midland that we just bought from an operator in Brazil. And the previous crew been snagging electrical defects. Anyway, the engineers got on, had a real good search for this aircraft, and apparently, once they lifted the floorboards of it, they found it was rat infested. This thing was absolutely crawling with rats. So what they did was they put smoke bombs in there. I call them smoke bombs. I mean, obviously they're made of some sort of chemical which kills or scares away the rats.
Yes.
So they did that, and they closed it up for about 8 hours with all these smoke bombs in, and the next day it was rat free.
How did that happen? Okay, very quickly, let's go to the next one. PJ wants to know, what is the scariest experience you've ever had flying a plane?
Oh, crikey. Well, I've had a few in my time. I mean, if you fly long enough, you're bound to have one. Fortunately, none with passengers on board. I have had a couple of engine failures in both light aircraft and airliners. And I used to do a lot of test flying, and certainly there was at one point in there where things got a little bit sticky, shall we say?
Okay.
But I recovered from all of them, obviously, because I'm here talking to you, and that's what the training enables you to do.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, we've only got time for one last question, so a quick 10 seconds on this one, and it's from Mandy Dollar. It says, what is your favourite aircraft to fly?
Oh, favourite aircraft? Gosh, definitely a 737. I'm just trying to think which version of it. I think probably the 300, the old classic 300. It's great aircraft. It's got a good power to weight ratio. It's got the old conventional clockwork flight instruments and displays, which are just like the light aircraft that you used to fly on. It's lovely aircraft to throw around the skies.
Fabulous. Okay, well, thank you very, very much. Oh, we've got Matthew Davis, our very own Matthew Davis, ex-professional jockey. Always good to see Matthew in the chat room. What we're going to do before we go to the next feature, we're going to have a quick look at Chris Brady's YouTube channel. Now, Chris has just very recently set this up, and look at this. He's already got 123 subscribers. After today, I want to see that up to over 200, okay? We've got 100 people watching today. So everybody, please subscribe to Chris Brady, because fingers crossed. Yeah, so the plan is, Chris, when you can get back flying, we're going to this is right, isn't it? We're going to do like a preview on the probably a Friday night or whatever night is suitable. Show an actual video, and then you'll be able to watch it in full on Chris's YouTube channel. Does that sound like a plan from the cockpit?
Yeah, definitely, Stu. We'll have to see where my roster takes me, which part of the world I'll be flying. But yeah, I'll definitely do some videos and share them with you on Airshow World. No problem.
So that is going to be something for you guys who follow Airshow World exclusives, absolute exclusives on Airshow World. And look at this. This was released last night, and it's absolutely awesome. Look at these shots. These are still photographs taken by Chris from the cockpit. So expect to see a lot more of this in the very, very near future. Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show tonight. We've got loads more questions that people want to ask. Chris will be on again in the very, very near future. And if you would like to take part in the feature that we are calling Ask the Pilot, just drop me an email. Simple as that. And we've got a new email address as well. You can send it to the old one, or you can send it to Stu, S-T-U, at airshowworld.com. Couldn't be easier. Chris, many thanks for being on the show this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it.
That's no problem, Stu. It's my pleasure and good to talk to you all.
All right. Thank you very much. Deserves a round of applause, everybody in the chat room, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris. Okay, hey, we've got to move on to the next feature. And I'm just checking that I've mentioned everything. Yes, I certainly have. Okay, time to move on. And as we've been doing a few civil aircraft, and I know he doesn't fly one of these, but we're going to pop over to East Midlands Airport. As I get my breath back. Well, I certainly hope everybody in the chat room, and even if you're not in the chat room and you're just watching this, you certainly enjoyed that feature that we've done tonight from Captain Chris Brady. So proud to have Chris on tonight. So Chris, thank you very much, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Certainly looks like it by the chat room. Look at this, loads of round of applause. Fabulous. Also, don't forget, coming up tonight in just a couple of minutes. Hey, we've got 3 minutes of the show. 2 minutes 30, make that. So thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. And don't forget, when we finish here, you can always pop over to the one and only. There they are. It's our sneak peek time, having a look at the guys over on... Judith's sniggering to herself now. Is he going to get it right tonight? Is he going to get it right? Over on Plain Talking UK podcast. Those guys will be on for another hour and 15 minutes or whatever. So please, if you pop over to them, I'll put in the chat room the actual link that you need. So after 8 o'clock, when we've finished... more than welcome to pop over there and see the guys there and put a message in the chat room and say, hey, I've just popped over from Airshow World. Stu the Bear sent us over. And we'll really appreciate it, okay? So thank you very much. And thank you to everybody that's actually joined us this evening. There we go. So that's how you get there. Let me copy that across. We'll get back to the aeroplane in a moment. What have we got? Oh, it's East Midlands Airport. Of course it is. But I'm just about out of time this evening. But we've got something rather special for you. We've got a special greeting. I love to have greetings coming in on Airshow World because it's all about involving you guys. That's the important thing. So no matter what you do, doesn't have to be bad aeroplanes. Hey, Matthew and Heather, you can always send a video in as well, and I will show it. Okay, so yep, simple as that. So if you'd like to have a greeting sometime on, you know, I know it's not the Christmas greetings, but hey, we're going to see this lady right now. Here we go.
Hello, everybody at Airshow.
I'm going to turn that volume up so we can hear it even louder. Okay, so just a moment. I don't want you to miss any of this.
Hello, everybody at Airshow World. I wanted to thank you for letting me be part of the group and everything, and I hope everybody stays safe, stays healthy, and keeps on smiling. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week and keep on flying.
And there she is. That's our very own LT Viper pilot. And she's going to be our USA correspondent. Hey, doesn't matter. She doesn't have to go a million miles away. Tell you, She is a wonderful person, and she is going to be sending some videos across. And hopefully she may be able to get to an air show at some point. Okay, from myself, the Bear, thank you everybody for taking part this evening in the chat room. I'll see you on Monday afternoon, 1 p.m. Don't forget, Monday afternoon, 1 p.m. for the DVD show. It's part 2 of Fairford, and that's coming up then. From my good self, you have yourself a fantastic weekend. We'll see you then. You take care.
Stand
Bye.
by for action. Anything can happen in the next half hour.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You take care. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Have yourself a great weekend. See you Monday afternoon, or you never know, we may be live sometime over the weekend. All the best. Don't forget, UK. It's Plain Talking UK podcast right now. I'll put the link in the chat room. Have a great weekend. Bye now.